Howdy. Howdy, everybody. We are live for another episode of The Remodelers Show. I'm your host, Kyle Hunt. We do this Monday through Friday from 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Been doing it for about 2 months now. And we share ideas to help you become a better remodeler. Sometimes that's like it is today, just me talking to you, sharing different ideas, something that hopefully will spark something for you to improve or implement or be encouraged by or learn. Sometimes that means I am interviewing and doing almost a mini coaching call with remodelers. Sometimes I bring on a trusted colleague of mine to talk about a specific topic. We keep varying it, trying different things, and thank you for your feedback. We'll continue to make it better and provide value. Shaking it up today, change the bottom to orange. People are going to be scrolling through and be like, what's going on? It looks different. Is there something new? Typically down here, it's all blue. Now it is orange. It's Tuesday, September 8th. Hi there. So I've got sticky notes that I put around my monitor, and that is the outline for today's show. The first one on today's show, we'll get a little chime going. Come on, there we go. Don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable. Last Friday, I'll paint the picture for you. The Hunt family went horseback riding. All 6 of us got on horses. My horse was named Onyx. And we had to drive about 45 minutes away. It was kind of a last minute idea to kick off our long weekend. And on the way home, my son asked me, who's 14, Thomas, who's 14, he said, hey, remember you were going to tell me about that whole remodeler's autopilot thing? I don't get it. How can you autopilot a remodeling project? He knows I'm a business coach, but I think he still thinks I do the work that you guys do. And I said, well, thank you for asking, Sonny boy. What it actually is that remodelers need to be staying in touch with their previous clients. It's their most valuable marketing asset. And the autopilot portion of it is we automate how to stay in touch with previous clients. We're automating a piece of their marketing. And he thought for a second, he's like, oh, so it made more sense to him. But then he started critiquing my business. He started critiquing my strategy of only working with remodelers. And he said, why don't you do what you do for other businesses, like YouTubers or restaurant or he was just throwing different things out. And I explained to him that my strategy is to focus on a narrow niche. Don't be all things to all people, which is something you as a remodeler need to consider as well, right? Don't be all things to all people. By narrowing down your niche and who your ideal client is, it helps you develop systems, processes that help you deliver that at a higher level, to be more efficient, to be more profitable, to be more productive. He still didn't really like that idea. He thought I should hire people. I should grow my business. Bigger is better. And he had some interesting things. It was a fun conversation to have, although he is a little combative. But one of the things he said as we were talking, he said, well, Dad, you don't want to get bored doing what you're doing. You can't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, if you are doing the same thing day in and day out and you're not trying new things, you're going to get comfortable, and that's not good. I said, well, and the way he said it, the way he explained it, I'm like, that was pretty good. Thomas, where did you come up with that? And he said, well, I read it in a Kobe Bryant book. He's been a big basketball fan the last year. He's been into Kobe Bryant since Kobe passed away, and he's been reading books, etc. So that was a Kobe Bryant quote. Don't get comfortable. You have to continually strive and improve and work towards improving. When we get comfortable, when we get bored, there's a lot of truth to that, right? We lose our edge. We just don't enjoy our work as much. So it is important to continue to innovate and improve, etc. So I wanted to share that with you because that was a quote from my son via Kobe Bryant. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know what it means for you as far as don't get comfortable, don't get stuck in a rut, don't get bored in what you're doing. But there you go. As I get done with these sticky notes, I will toss them. All right, the next up on the Remodeler Show today. Hello, people watching live. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying today's show. Is a scratch and dent template. This is something that I wanted to show you that one of my clients developed, Bailey Construction, here in beautiful Michigan. And where this came from, and it's soon going to be added into the Remodeler's Vault so that you guys can see this and perhaps use it. They gave me full permission to do that. Where this came from is my client, Rob, who owns Bailey Construction, found himself fixing something in somebody's home that was totally unrelated to the kitchen project they were doing. I know this has never happened to any of you, but there was a scratch. There was a door, a sliding door that didn't really quite open. You know, there was that paint scratch on the wall that was there before you got there, but nobody actually made note of it. Now, a lot of you will just fix that normally. You know, right? You'll go out of your way. You want to give your clients a great experience, but there's sometimes that they're having you fix things that are taking you hours. It's costing you a lot of money. That turns into a little bit of a he said, she said. And what my client Rob decided to do, he said, you know what? I'm just going to create a simple form that before we get started with the work, I'm just going to go around and just make notes of scratches, of dents, of things with the existing home, places that we're going to be frequently walking back and forth through. I'm going to make note of it. I'm going to have my client sign it and us sign it, just so that we're all clear with it. There's still going to be some things maybe as I show it to them and say, hey, can you sign this? That you're going to say, you know, hey, we're going to take care of that. When we paint over here, we're going to take care of that. Or, you know, we notice this, we're going to fill that and putty that for you. Or we're going to fix that window that's not working right. But it's another example of a little thing to protect yourself, to show professionalism, and to just have a solid process in place so that we're not being taken advantage of. I think that's part of the bigger reason why to do this. So, you know, condition of the sidewalk garage, condition of walls trim, you know, do the doors operate correctly, binding, latching, locking, condition of doors, dents, scratches, discolored, electrical, any issues there, plumbing in any room that we will be in contact with, do they function correctly, do the drip? All of a sudden you're doing the kitchen, the faucet in the bathroom's dripping while your team's been using the bathroom during this project, and all of a sudden, you know, that drip never happened before. I know this happens, people, right? So just a nice little checklist, maybe a little thing that you might want to incorporate into your process. Like I said, we're going to be adding this into the Remodeler's Vault. The Remodeler's Vault, by the way, if you go to Remodeler's Vault, FAULT.com, it is something that you can sign up for free of charge that has just a bunch of templates, tools, resources that are free and available for you to download. It's something that we put together on our end and that people have contributed different templates and tools to, and something for you to check out if you don't have access to that yet, remodelersvault.com. But yeah, let me know what you think of this little idea. It's a simple idea, the scratch and dent walkthrough. Bingo. All right. Now, let me see what we got going on here. Navy SEAL model, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Going back to that whole don't get comfortable. Cold, wet, and sandy. Ah, yes, literally uncomfortable. But I think there is something to be said. I would say the biggest concern I've had over the years, and it hasn't even come close to happening yet, when I made the decision to say I'm only going to work with remodelers, is the thought, am I going to get bored with that? Am I going to get bored talking about similar things and not have that variety of working with a chiropractor and then, you know, an accountant and then a remodeler? For me, it has proven to be the opposite. It gets me fired up even more. But we have to make sure that we're not getting too comfortable in our business. Cool. All right, next up. That was the scratch and dent. Scratch and dent. Next up is just this little thing. It's the United States Postal Service informed delivery. Now, this is only available if you have a P.O. box or a personal address. I don't think it's prime time for people for their business address, but it was like 2 years ago, year and a half ago, I was waiting for an important piece of mail, and I'm like, oh, if it doesn't come today, I'm going to call them. And I was kind of clicking around, seeing whatever, and I found this informed delivery. And every day I get an email in my inbox at like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and it has a scan of whatever's coming in my mail that day. It's not perfect. Sometimes it says another mail piece that was unscanned, but most of the time it shows you the different checks or the different statements or the different pieces of mail that you're going to get later that day. This came up last week. I was talking to a client who was waiting for a couple checks in the mail, and they were eagerly waiting for it. And I said, you could have known this morning if that was going to come later today through this little informed delivery. So it's a little thing. I found it to be kind of helpful, interesting. And if you just type in USPS informed delivery, you'll find it. Okay. Rocking and rolling. Oh, and it's Jimbo talking about the Navy SEAL motto. Hi, Jim. If you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, you should be able to click and make it so that you can see your name there. All right. Next one up. Oh, this is just something, a little plug for this. We continue, like I said at the start of the show, to try different formats for this. Today we got the old tried and true. Kyle pops around to different topics, keeps things interesting, hopefully gives you something to think about, to try out, to implement. But what I've also been doing a little bit more lately is bringing a remodeler on, most of whom I've never really worked with before, people that are part of Remodelers Community Facebook group, people that have been part of my email list, and just bringing them on and kind of doing a bit of a mini coaching call. We did it last week with Laurel with She Builds, and we focused on project manager. How do we go about that? How do we think about that? And what would I recommend? We had Terry Nation with Nation's Custom Builders on Friday, where we hit on a bit of a variety of topics that was just kind of pretty interesting. So if you are interested in being a guest, it's a little bit of a mini coaching call with some people that can watch live and kind of chime in and encourage and help as well. Just reach out to me. I don't have really anything specifically planned yet for Wednesday through Friday this week, and I'd love a couple guests. So put it in the comments, reach out to me via private message on Facebook or email or text or however you want to get a hold of me. Carrier pigeon, whatever works. Okay, that one was that one. Next one up. Unboxing. This is what I was promoting on the post that I made about today's show. I got this big box in the mail last week, and my wife was actually disappointed because she was waiting for a package that she thought was this, and it turns out it wasn't what she was looking for. And she said, Kyle, everybody loves unboxing videos. Just the intrigue of it. Did you know there's like YouTubers and people on Facebook where people just send them free stuff and their whole show is just opening the box, talking about it, and commenting on it. And people flock to it. She said, you should do an unboxing of that box. And I said, well, that's kind of silly. But I said, okay, fine. So what this is, and this box has actually already been pillaged by my employee, Bailey. She stopped by last week and she grabbed a couple things out of it. But there's still a lot in it. It's just been so fun to show up either in my office, or in this case, I gave him my home address because it was a big box. People have just been sending me hats and swag and stuff. And this one is from Mike Medford down in Texas. Mike, you will see this. So I'm unboxing. I'm pulling stuff out that he sent to show it to you guys. A beautiful little polo shirt. He has noted that I love myself a polo shirt. Now we got Memphis Design Build. Mike and I did a remodeler show not too long ago, and it was specifically on how he's gotten up and running a handyman division. It's actually, if you go to Remodelers on the Rise, my podcast, you'll see it. What to consider if you're a design build remodeler and you're thinking about getting into starting a handyman division. What should you be considering, thinking about? It was an excellent episode. So Mike sent me that. Mike also sent me this koozie, whether it's for a beer can or a pop can, always good. A little mini ruler here. I'm also showing this just to give you guys ideas for swag that you might purchase. I was a little perplexed by this one at first because it's got a couple little pieces, but what it is a cell phone stand. You take the pieces apart and then you can set your cell phone there and you can kind of look at it without it sitting down. pretty snazzy, pretty fancy. He sent another beautiful athletic t-shirt, but Bailey stole that one. We got a little flash drive to put all of your top secret files on. Thank you, Mike, for that. Continuing with the unboxing, a beautiful one, a jar opener. You don't know how awesome these work until you need one. Have you ever struggled with opening jars? They got little grabbers on it, and it makes you like 5 times stronger than you actually are. Put that around there, twist it right off. I am gaining viewers since I started unboxing. I think my wife is right that if you do an unboxing during a show, people will flock. They will want to know what's going on. Bet you it's even better if I keep the box up here so people that are scrolling by see it. What else do we got in here? We got some Post-it notes. Long Post-it notes where you can make a list. By the way, I'll add 2 cents to this one. If you would just take 5 to 6.5 minutes at the start of your day to think through your to-do list, to think through what is the most important thing for you to tackle that day. And if you took a simple little sticky note like this from Mike and you wrote those 4 things down, those 3 things down, those 5 things down, those 2 or 1 thing down, you are much more likely to, 1, be focusing on the right things that day, and 2, to actually get it done. Simple concept. When I follow that idea, my day goes better. When I'm too busy, quote unquote, take plan A, identify frog, the thing that's most important that I'm most likely to put off, to identify the top couple things that I need to get done that day. Generally speaking, I don't get it done. So a nice little reminder there, courtesy of this swag that Mike sent. We have something that all of us need to have these days, some antibacterial hand sanitizer, complete with the Medford Design Build logo. Got a beautiful pen. Thank you, Mike. And we got 2 more things. One being just a little calendar. I'm going to go put that on my little fridge in my office here. Got to tear off some things here. And once you know it, look, you see where it says December 2019. Remember back in December 2019, January, where are we at? January 2020. We're sitting there going, you know what? Let's set some New Year's resolutions. This year's going to be swell. IBS, International Builder Show, we used to travel and stuff. February, we were hearing a few things, but you know what? Beautiful February. February 9th, Kyle's birthday. It was pretty good day there. And then March hit. And we're like, rut-row, are we actually going to wait, we're going to shut things down? What? What's going on? And then we get into April. Very crazy. May, phone stopped ringing. And now we're getting back. The year's going a little bit better now. Thank you, Mike, for that inspiration. The other thing he sent me is this, and I think I might save this for a show in the future. He sent me what he brings out with him when he meets with a new prospect. One thing he's got here is a sample design package. One thing that I don't see done enough from remodelers who are doing design work is to actually show examples of your design work. Let me find a page that would be a good example of that. He's got a section that just talks about floor plans. He's got a section that shows 3D design. He's got a section that shows before and after. He's got a section that just talks about the process. You're selling something in design that they cannot touch and feel and see, and we need to show them examples. When you say, you know, we charge $600 to do design and project development on that bathroom, versus, you know, let me tell you about the process that we go through, the detail, what you're going to be able to see. You're going to be able to feel like you're walking through it, through the design. We're going to get into details, specifications, selections, et cetera, and we charge $600 for that. Totally different sell, right? When I'm able to see it and get excited about it. And I hear this time and time again. Remodelers who start showing off the actual design and showing examples of it, it's much easier to sell your design and project development. So Mike has kind of sent me an example of how they approach that, which is pretty solid. I had another sign up this morning. Most of the people that have signed up so far have been signing up for all 4 courses that I'm offering this fall. But 3 so far have signed up just for an individual course. This morning, hi John Utter, signed up for the October course, which is talking about how do we charge for design and project development. And this is going to we're going to get into that during that course. If you go to remodelersmasterclass.com, by the way, you can find out more about that. So he's got all kinds of things in here. Like I said, I think I might save some of these for another time, but he's got how much will my remodel cost? Talks about the team. Show me pictures of your team. People like to do business with with people they know, like, and trust. I should be able to see the people, describe them to me. Have an About Us page on your website. Have a sheet like this, in the packet that you leave behind after your initial meeting. Show them who you guys are. Okay, some good stuff in here. A bunch of references. Oh, you want references? We got references. Phone number, city, Arlington, Irvine. Just page after page of references he puts in here. Just a lot of good stuff. So, Mike, thank you for sending me this box of goodies. I appreciate it. If you also would like to send me a box of goodies, my faithful listeners to Remodelers on the Rise, there's my address. That's my office address, 325 East Grand River, Suite 8, Brighton, Michigan, 48116. That was the unboxing portion of today's show. And I kind of already mentioned this other sticky note of the fall courses. Two things to note on this. I've had a couple people sign up where they are excited to bring some of their team members. One of the things that happens is if a business owner takes a course, takes a class, and then is trying to relay everything that he or she learned to the rest of the team, sometimes that doesn't work very well. We want to have some synergy. We want people pushing experience of a course together leads to more synergy, easier implementation, faster implementation, everybody on the same page. And several of the people that have signed up for the fall courses have taken me up on what I'm offering, which says you can bring an employee or two or a team member or two to participate as well. And that just allows for implementation, which is what these fall courses are all about, to happen much more regularly. And then one more note on the fall courses. I'll save that for tomorrow, actually. We're all good. What questions do you guys have? What questions do you guys have today? Anybody want to toss in a little question that they might have that I could answer as we hit the home stretch, the last 7 minutes or so of today's show? What do you guys have? Okay. I'm going to keep cruising. Something I wanted to bring to your attention from last week. I did a show with Patrick Long with BizPal, and we talked about recruiting and the process for hiring people for your team. He has something called his PUB, P-U-B-B, job posting. And what it's talking about is your job posting needs to be personal, urgent, really hammer home benefits, and be brief. And I was going through just my notes and I thought, I'm going to toss up that tinyurl.com/pub-template. If you go there, it's just a shortcut to where you can just download that pub job posting. I was just pulling it up earlier and he's got actual examples like, oh, I love that line, copy, paste, and just shows kind of the before and after of a lame job posting and a strong job posting. That's one of the things as you're recruiting team members hard to make sure that your ad and your posting is standing out. And also from that show we did last week to really make sure that we have a process that we're walking them through that continues it along and it also protects your time is very important. If you ever want to go back to a previous episode of the Remodelers Show, if you go to theremodelershow.com, it will take you there. Very excited to start your classes. Oh, I'm excited too, whoever that is. I'm not sure who posted that, but I'm excited to have you as well. All right. Another one that I had here. And it just says micro goal. I don't know where this thought came from recently, but I think I read it as I was just scrolling through a post on social media. And we need to hear this as we're walking our way through the crazy year that was. Now kids are getting back into school. Everything's still kind of crazy. Making sure that we're just setting small micro goals. One truth that I know is when we write down a goal, when we put it pen to paper, fingers to keyboard to computer, when we write it down and get clear with our goal, it is much more likely to happen. And I think sometimes, I remember where I read this, it was somebody that was posting about how they really set crazy ambitious goals at the start of September. I'm going to do this every day for X amount of time, and this is what I'm going to get done. And they realized that they bit off way more than they could chew. They should have started with something a little bit smaller that they could be consistent with. As an example, I'm going to run 5 miles a day. Well, okay, cool. If you can do that, cool. Versus, I'm going to work out, or I'm going to run 4 times a week. Or I'm going to run 2 miles 4 times a week. Sometimes we just get ambitious, we get excited about a goal, and we set this big goal, and then we fail. So this idea of just setting a micro goal. Maybe you have a micro goal for this week. Maybe you have a micro goal for today. Maybe it's for this month. Just kind of think about that. My micro goal this week is just to create one piece of content that I post and that I email out related to the courses I'm offering. That's kind of the goal I have in my head, and just it's very specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. It's smart. And I'm going to do that every day this week. It's already Tuesday. Tuesday? I thought it was Monday. Oh, there we go. Rhonda got her new computer. The StreamYard link is streamyard.com/Facebook. Michael said, micro goals are cool. Dr. Kurt Nelson. Check out his Behavioral Grooves podcast. Well, there we go. I just kind of grabbed that phrase just from something that I saw somebody post, and turns out there's a lot more to it from Dr. Kurt Nelson, and we got a podcast so you can check it out. Computer as well. I didn't know what happened. So yeah, streamyard.com/Facebook, and you can get your name to pop up there. Cool. I am looking at my monitor, and I had all these little sticky notes kind of strewn about, and I've covered all of them. And we're 2 minutes from completing today. So just to kind of recap today, don't get comfortable. That is from Kobe Bryant /Thomas Hunt. Make sure we're doing some things to make sure we're not getting too comfortable in our business or our life. We looked at this scratch and dent template. Interesting little thing that you might incorporate into the start of your project to make sure you're covering yourself. United States Postal Service and form delivery. A simple little thing that I enjoy. If you want to be a guest this week on the Remodeler Show, or future times if this week doesn't work, make a comment, shoot me a quick note, and we'll get you lined up. RemodelersMasterclass.com, my fall courses I'm doing. We did some unboxing. Thank you, Mike Medford with Medford Design Build, for all of the goodies. And there's my address, so you guys can send me more goodies just because it's fun. tinyurl.com/pub/template. If you want to get that pub job posting, if you need to spruce up your job posting, that's a good way to do it. And we kind of wrapped up with this idea of a micro goal. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Rhonda, you got it working. Your face is back. There we go. Jim's got his working now. Way to go, Thomas. Excellent. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Leave a comment about maybe a takeaway that you had, and I'll be back tomorrow. To be determined what I'm going to cover. Toss in the comments if you have a topic that you want me to dig into, or if you'd like to be a guest on an upcoming show. Catch you later.